What's up, guys? Fears, audience, audience, fears. I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. It's been a pretty good day. Pretty good day. Um, Forgive my eyes. I've been crying a little bit. It was a good day, but it was also a rough day. Today we had my dad's viewing. We had my dad's viewing, and it went really well, really well. And then I finished my dad's um, um, speech that I'm gonna do, and I also watched Chopping Mall today, and I'm gonna do a comprehensive review. So I hope you guys are ready for this. I'm gonna do a review on Chopping Mall. So I hope you guys are ready. Anyway, so lots to talk about. So the um, let me open up the topics. There we go. Yeah. So I hope you guys are having a good day. So the topics are my speech to my dad, and then my dad's funeral viewing, and then a comprehensive review on Chopping Mall. What's up, Tyler? Can we get a little demo of the speech? Absolutely. I'm gonna wait till some more people get in here, Tyler, and then I'm gonna read it. I got it all in this notebook. See? Right here. Got it. I'm going to read it here in a little bit. It is like 12:24 at night, so I don't know if a lot of people's going to come in. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I had to burp, but let's just give it a little bit, and then hopefully some more people will come in. So Tyler, I don't know if you know, but today was my dad's viewing. So today was my dad's viewing, and then, well, technically today is my dad's funeral because it's now in Missouri. It's 1:25. So the funeral starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So it's going to be an all day thing. So yeah, but the viewing went really well. We got there, and they had, the posters, the posters that we made with all the photos. Well, um, we get to the viewing, and they decorated it beautiful, guys. Beautiful. All the posters were out. All my mom's like photo albums were out. People had sent tons and tons and tons and tons of flowers. So it was amazing. My best friend Eric came, which, Eric, when you watch this, I really appreciate you showing up, buddy. What's up, J Man? He says, "Hey, Fears, buddy. How you holding up?" I'm doing all right. I actually feel a little bit better. And I told Pixel this the other day. Even though my dad's gone, I'm glad my dad isn't in any more pain anymore, because my dad was suffering. Like cancer eats away at you a piece at a time. So, I mean, of course I'm gonna miss him, and I've been crying today. You guys can tell in my eyes that I've been crying, and my nose is stuffy, and that usually happens when you cry. So, uh, forgive me. Um, but it was a beautiful viewing. So, and I went up to my dad's casket. I said some nice words. I said, "Hey, Dad, I love you." I said, "I'll miss you." And I said, "I know you're proud of me, Dad, but I said, I'm going to continue to make you even more prouder." And my dad looked amazing in his military outfit. Um, he was in military from head to toe, and it was my dad's uh, military uniform, and we got a duplicate of all of his medals, because my mom kept the originals, and then every single medal that my dad won, we found online, and then we bought them so my dad could be buried with him, and my mom's gonna keep the originals. So, and then they had coffee and water and tea for us, and it was awesome. Normally, sometimes at a funeral home, sometimes they make you pay for that. Sometimes you don't. It was all for free. We could have all the coffee and water and tea we wanted. So, and we pretty much just sat around and talked to my dad and talked to my family and friends about like really good times that I had with my dad. And it was just a good time to be with friends and family. So it was pretty awesome, guys. J Man says, Mary and I will continue our prayers for you and your family. You're an amazing person and a wonderful friend. So are you, J Man. But here's the kicker, guys. I am not kidding when I say this. So when I'm in there, and I see this guy in the corner of the room. I'm not kidding. Scout's honor on my mother and my father. This happened. A YouTube fan showed up to um, to pay his respects. I'm not even kidding. You guys, I know I would not lie about this. And he had long hair. He comes up to me, and I was trying to remember where I knew this guy from, but I didn't know him. I've only known his YouTube channel, and he's been in the comments. So he comes up, and I'm looking at him across the way, and I'm like, I can't think of where I know this guy from. And I go around, and I'm like, Mom, do you know who that guy is? And she's like, I don't know who that guy is. I said, well, what did he say to you when he walked up? He just said, oh, I'm an acquaintance. I'm an acquaintance of John. And I said, Mom, I don't know who that guy is. And so I asked around. I said to my brother, I said, hey man, I said, do you know who that guy is with the long hair? And my brother's like, no, I thought you knew him. I said, I didn't know him. You guys know I would not lie. On my father, this happened. So he comes up and he said, hey John, you don't know me, but I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel. He goes, I've been following you for years. And I said, really? And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, I love your content, and I just had to come and pay my respect. And I said, that is really big of you, man. I said, that's huge. I said, I really appreciate that. And I said, how did you find out? He goes, well, you told us about it on your YouTube channel. And I said, yeah, that's right. He goes, and then on your Facebook, you posted like when the funeral was going to be and when the viewing's going to be. So he said, I went to your Facebook and I saw it right there. And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, I hope you don't mind that I showed up. I said, no, man. I said, I really appreciate it that you showed up. I didn't think in a million years that one of my YouTube fans would show up. And so I said, hey, I got to ask you. I said, what's your YouTube channel name? So, Tyler, I think you have seen this guy. I'm sure you guys have seen him in the chat. He says, well, I don't always comment, but he goes, um, I've watched a lot of your video game streams and I watch Fearsman 26. And I said, well, what do you watch more of? And he said, oh, definitely Fears vlogs. He goes, I love the streams and I love the vlogs. And I went, oh, okay. And I said, so what's your name on there? And he says, my name is PTP. So he says, and he told me his real name, but I'm not going to tell you guys. He said, those are my initials of my first, middle, and last name. So it's, if you guys see PTP in the chat, be sure to give him credit where credit's due. So PTP, thank you so much for showing up at my dad's viewing. I could not believe this. And he said, oh, I've been a big fan for years. He goes, I've been watching you for years. And he goes, I love your passion. I love your drive. I love that you put 190% of your energy into your videos, whether it's like a vlog or a stream or like a funny little parody that you and Randall do on Fears Man 26 or like a short film. And I was like, I said, oh yeah, I said I put in my passion. And Tyler says, PTP doesn't ring a bell. And I said, I have seen you before in the chat. I've seen him. And he said, well, I'm not always in there. He goes, sometimes I just watch and I don't comment. He goes, but when I do comment, he goes, you've always like responded. So I just wanted to like, I appreciate you saying something. And I said, oh yeah, no worries, man. I said, I think it's huge of you. I said, you don't know me. I said, you don't know my dad. I think it's so cool that you showed up. I said, I'm sure you had a busy day, man. He goes, no, not really. He goes, I had a day off. And he goes, the way I found your channel, I don't know if you've ever watched this video, Tyler. He said, well, I moved to Wentzville, Missouri, where my parents are from. And when I moved, he goes, I didn't really know much about Wentzville. So he goes, I just wrote in the search engine Wentzville videos and your Wentzville like video tour. I don't know if have you ever watched that, Tyler? I did basically a vlog where I take everybody on a tour of Wentzville, Missouri. And he goes, I saw your video a long time ago. I watched it. I loved the vlog. And then I watched like 3 of your live streams in a row. He goes, and then I couldn't get enough of your videos. He goes, and I've been a fan ever since. And I made that tour through Wentzville like 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while. It's been up on my channel for a minute. And I said, dude, I think that's so cool. I said, well, continue. I said, continue to watch, continue to spread the word. And I couldn't believe that a fan showed up. It was kind of surreal, awesome. So PTP, I appreciate you showing up. That was huge of you, dude. I appreciate that. Yo Visions. He says, "Wow, Fears, you're famous." Well, I wouldn't go that far, buddy. I don't think I'm famous. He says, um, Tyler the hacker says, honestly, I think it might have been a troll. Kind of weird that he found your Facebook to track down your father's funeral. I don't think it was a troll, Tyler. He was the nicest guy. He was the nicest guy. Um, and he said that he's watched a few um, videos where I've gotten mad at the trolls, and he said, "Fears, I'm not like that." He goes, "I've actually stood up for you." And I said, "No," I said, "I've seen your name in the chat. I knew exactly who he was." It's in all caps. It's in all caps, and it's literally just PTP. I've seen him before. Like he said, sometimes I just watch in the shadow spheres. Sometimes I do comment, but I thought that was huge of him to do that. So Tyler, and this guy was the nicest guy. He went up to my mom, said, um, he went up to my mom and said, "I'm sorry for your loss." And he didn't say he was a YouTube fan. He just said, "I'm an acquaintance of Fears." And he didn't do anything trolly, not one thing. And he wasn't like doing anything fishy there. He wasn't doing anything like sketchy, because I kind of watched him for a good like 10 minutes, and he only stayed for about 10, 15 minutes. You know, he said he had to go to work. He said he just wanted to come, and he didn't say one bad thing, Tyler. He was saying, "Oh, I loved it when you made this video, and I loved it when you made that video." And he goes, so I believe this guy, you know, like if it was really a troll, he would have came up and said, "Oh, hey, by the way, Fears, I'm Moody," or "Hey, Fears." Well, I know what Moody looks like, so I know it was him. But if it was a troll, they would have outed themselves, you know. And like I said, he didn't say anything bad. Visions, I'm glad you're here. You're going to hear my comprehensive review of Chopping Mall. I watched Chopping Mall last night, A plus, A plus. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But I thought it was so cool that this guy showed up. I don't think I'm famous though, Visions. Well, at least not yet. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're getting there. We're getting there. But I don't know. I just thought that was really nice of him. I said, "Dude, you're on your way to work," and he's like, "I really didn't have much to do today." And I said, "Well," I said, "I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule." And he's like, "Oh, no worries." He goes, "I've been watching your stuff for years." He goes, "And I just wanted to show my support." And I said, "I really appreciate that, man." So yeah, it is a little weird that he just like came up out of nowhere, but this guy Tyler, he didn't have a bad bone in his body. Like he seemed really, really, really nice, and he was like showing support, and he shook my hand, and I said, "You know what, man?" I said, "Let's get a photo." I said, "Let's get a photo together." So I took a photo with him, and seemed like a nice guy. So yeah, so but I appreciate you looking out for me, Tyler. But I swear he didn't do any um he didn't do anything trolly. He didn't do anything to sabotage it. Nothing. So um yeah. So I thought it was nice. Tyler says trolls are cowards. I believe that. I definitely believe that. They wouldn't say anything in real life. That's true. That's very true. But again, I don't. This guy was nothing but nice, and I know most of my trolls' face. Like they've outed themselves. I know what Quentin looks like. I know what Adam Pacitti looks like. I know what Moody looks like. I know what uh like all the other guys look like. I didn't recognize this guy's face. So um I'm almost 100% positive that this guy is not a troll. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think this guy's a troll. He was the most nicest guy ever. He didn't say anything bad. He just said, "I just wanted to show my support, man. I love your content." He goes, "I'm really sorry." He goes, "Even though I didn't know your dad," he goes, "I just wanted to show my support." He says, "I live about 20, 30 minutes away." And he goes, "I was just on my way to work." And I was like, "That's so cool that you showed up." So yeah. So um, Tyler says it's just weird they actually went to the viewing and not the actual funeral. Yeah. Well, we had to do it. We had to do the viewing today because since it's my dad's having a military funeral. We're not having it at the funeral home. We're having it at my dad's old church in downtown St. Louis, like where he grew up. And then after that, since it's a military funeral, we're taking him um, where they bury like all the soldiers in St. Louis. So yeah, so I thought it was cool though. Vision says, "Nice online movies and streaming services are the best. No need to buy $50 Blu-rays." That's true, Vision. But when it comes to Chopping Mall, Fears must have a DVD because oh my god, that movie was fucking great. Oh shit. Finally, finally I watched it. Oh my god. It was great classic horror movie shit. Classic 80s shit. Oh my god. So we're going to get to that in a minute. Um Tyler says I would be careful about this guy. Oh, I will, Tyler. Trust me. I appreciate you giving me the heads up. But again, this guy was the nicest thing. Mercenary Man, I was just telling everybody. Um, the reason why I rattled off names is I wasn't trying to. There's a reason why I said them all. Mercenary Man is the viewing of my dad was great. Everything went as planned. They decorated the room nice. I went up to the funeral director and said, "You guys, this looks awesome." And they said, "Oh," they said, "Well, while we were setting everything up," they said, "You and your family did a great job making all these posters with pictures." I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "We went to my dad's church and we made some food and we talked about old times and we made all the posters." And she goes, "That's so cool. You guys seem like you're a tight family." And I said, "Oh," I said, "we are." I said, "I love my mom. I love my dad. Love my brother." I said, "All my uncles and aunts and cousins." I said, "The Fears family, we're a tight family." And so we all go in, and I'm just giving Mercenary Man the 10-second version because he just got here. I see this guy in the corner, and they're all in line waiting to talk to my mom. And this guy's got long, flowing hippie hair. And I was like, I don't recognize this guy. I recognized everybody else, like friends, family, church, church. Even my friends from church camp came. Not them all, but some of them. And I go up to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I don't recognize that guy. And she goes, Oh, well, when he came through the line, he said he was an acquaintance of yours. And I'm like, I couldn't tell you who that person is. So I went over to my brother. I'm like, Do you know who that guy is with like the long flowing hippie hair? And my brother's like, "No, I thought you know him." So I walk up to him and he goes, "Hey man," and we went like kind of, I took him off to the side. And I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Do I know you?" And he goes, "Hey Fears," he goes, "You don't know me." He goes, "But I just wanted to say," he goes, "I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel." He goes, "And I'm so sorry to hear about your dad." And he goes, "I just wanted to show my support." And I said, "Oh wow, man." I said, "That's really cool of you." I said, "You didn't have to do that." And he goes, "Well," he goes, "My dad has prostate cancer too." So he goes, "I know what you're going through." And he goes, well, I don't know if he said prostate cancer. He said, my dad is going through cancer. No, yeah, he didn't say prostate cancer. He goes, "My dad's going through cancer." So he goes, "I know," uh, he goes, I know what you're going through." And I said, "Oh, dude," I said, "this is huge of you to do this." And I said, "You have to be," I said, "besides you and Visions and that guy that made me a painting of Fears Man," I said, "this is probably one of the coolest things." And Visions, I swear to God, he said your name. He goes, "Well, he goes, don't forget about Visions." I said, "I would never forget about Visions." I said, "Visions has sent me so much shit." I said, "Me and Visions are like brothers now." I'm like, "We're like this." And he goes, "Well," he goes, "I just wanted to show my support." And then Mercenary Man Tyler said, "Well, Fears, you never know. It could be a troll." And that's why I said, "No," I said, "I did." I said, "I know all my trolls, faces." I said, "This guy, he didn't look familiar. I know what Moody and Quentin, all those other guys look like." And I said, "It's none of them." And he didn't say one trolly thing. Um, Now, granted, Tyler said, "Well, Fears," he goes, "trolls are cowards." He goes, "They wouldn't say anything in real life." But I know this guy wasn't a troll. Like, I'm pretty good at reading people. He was the nicest guy ever. Didn't say one bad thing. We chatted for like, he only stayed for like 15, 20 minutes because he said he had to go because he said later on he had to go to work. But the conversation that we had was amazing. So, so yeah. So he seemed really nice to me, you know. Again, I don't know the guy, but his name is. I said, "Well, what's your YouTube channel name?" He said, "Well, I don't always comment in your lives." He goes, "I do comment every once in a while." He said, "But my YouTube channel name is PTP." And I said, "Oh, what's that stand for?" He goes, "Oh," he goes, it's just the first letter of my first, middle, and last name." I went, "Okay." I'm like, "That's cool." I'm like, "That's simple." And then he said, "Yeah, I don't always comment. Sometimes I just watch in the shadows." He goes, "But," I said, "No," I said, I know what you mean." I said, "I've seen you comment." He goes, "Oh," he goes, "I love your video game streams." He goes, "That's one of my favorites." I said, "Well, what do you usually watch?" He goes, "Oh," he goes, "I love the vlog channel." He goes, "Nothing wrong with Fears Man 26." He goes, "I just love the streams and I love the vlogs." And he goes, "I know what you mean, Fears." He goes, "You save like your best edited projects for Fears Man 26." Which, by the way, I just uploaded my all of my scare jumps. I mean, I'm sorry, my jump scares. So if you guys want to check out my jump scares, they're on Fears Man 26. Check it out. So that's what I was just saying. So I thought it was really cool, Mercenary Man, that a fan showed up. I never thought in a million years a fan would show up, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And again, he didn't do anything wrong. He literally was just he seemed like the chillest guy ever. He was just like, "Hey, Fears, you don't know me. I just wanted to show my support." He goes, "I'm sorry that you're going through all this crazy shit." And he goes, "Man," he goes, "you've been through the ringer, dude." He goes, "Like the job shit, and then with your dad, and then like with the hurricane." I was like, "I know." I said, "It's been a rough year, buddy." So he seemed normal to me. So thank you, PTP, for showing your support. Thumbs up. So yeah. Tyler says, to be fair, Fears, at one time you thought Matt Man was on the level. That's true. Well, at one time, Matt Man was on the level, and then a bunch of people in our community caught him in a lie, and then he went off on these fucking crazy tangents saying that he'd buy like a 13-year-old girl a beer and God knows what else he said. And I'm just like, what the fuck, Matt Man? I'm like, all right, well, I'm like, never talk to me again. You're a pedophile. That's disgusting. Leave me alone. So yeah. So yeah. At one time, some people, like me and Pixel at one time, before we found out, we thought Matt Man was semi normal. We were way off. But this guy, I'm telling you, Tyler, this guy was the nicest guy ever. I have a pretty good sense of reading people, usually. This guy just seemed like the nicest guy ever. But I thought it was really cool that he showed up. So, um, and he didn't bring up anyone's name. He just he showed up by himself. He was dressed really nice, and I got a photo with him. So, I don't know if he wants me to show the photo on camera, but I thought he was nice, you know. So I'm probably gonna do what you said, Tyler. He said you should share the picture on Instagram. You gotta commemorate. Can't even talk. You gotta commemorate your fans. Oh, I will. I will. I will. But yeah, let's see. Vision says, "What's up, mercenary man?" So anyway, um, to make a long story short, the viewing was great. So time for topic number two. I'm gonna save Chopping Mall for the end. My comprehensive review. I just finished my dad's speech that I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna read it and I'll let me know what you guys think. All right. So, um, My Dad by John Fears. My dad was many things. He was my dad, my friend, my mentor, and my hero. My dad taught me many things: how to play baseball, things about life, how to be a man, how to treat people, but most of all, he taught me how to be a good human being. I will miss the little things like taking vacations, opening Christmas presents together, eating dinner, just having a nice long talk, and giving him a hug. My dad always believed in me, encouraged me, and helped me. He told me to always do your best and to follow your dreams. I will miss everything about my dad because everything about him was so good. I will always lead by his example. Uh, we have lost someone we love and it hurts. Even though my dad is gone, he will remain in our lives forever, comforting us, making us laugh, and watching over us. Love you, Dad. John. So I thought that was pretty good. Let me know. It's short, sweet. It's only one page. So, it's not too long. It's not too short. And I got a bunch of cool stuff in there. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. So that's my speech. That's my speech. Mm. So, yeah. So that took me about an hour and a half to write because I really sat here and thought about like some good things. And my mom's like, try to keep it like short, like just a paragraph. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't want to say anything. I said, I don't want to say anything too long, but anything too short. So yeah. Tyler says, Matt Man was never on the level. This is true. This is true. But me and Pixel and other people thought for a brief second he was. And then all of a sudden, everybody in the community caught him in a live stream saying, "Oh yeah, I'll buy a beer for some 10-year-old or 13-year-old girl," and I was like, "Ugh, that's disgusting." So yeah, Tyler says, "I don't think you're as good at reading people as you think." I'm pretty good, Tyler. Am I the best? No, but I'm pretty good. Uh, I know you want to believe in the best in people. I do. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but the fact that no one can remember him is super suspicious. That is true. That is true. No one knew who he was. And but he didn't lie. He just said, um, "Me and John don't know." This is what he said to my mom. He said, "Oh, he said, hello, Mrs. Fears." He goes, "You don't know me." He goes, I'm an acquaintance of John," and he goes, "We only know each other um, uh, a little bit." And he goes, "I've watched a couple of John's YouTube videos, and I'm a big fan." And in my mind, I'm like, well, if you're a big fan, you've watched a little bit. He goes, there was tons of people on the line, John, trying to greet you and your brother and your mom. So, but then I went up and talked to him. He seemed like he was on the level, but we'll see. So hopefully I see him. If you guys see PTP in the chat, that's what he said. That's what he said his YouTube channel is. He says his YouTube channel was PTP, and he didn't, to me he didn't lie, because I asked him, I tried to quiz him. I was like, so like, because in my mind I'm like, all right, well, I'll quiz him. I'm like, I'll ask him things about certain videos, and apparently he's a big fan. He's like, oh yeah, he goes, I remember when you and your friend made that Knight Rider video. And he's like, yeah, oh yeah, Fears, I saw all the Disney vlogs. And he goes, yeah, you told everybody that you used to work at Disney. And I was like, okay. Because now in my mind, I'm like, all right, that's right, he got that right. And then he's like, "Oh yeah," he goes, "I've been a fan for years." He goes, "I remember, like when you did some streams at the original OG coffee shop," and I was like, "Yep, I say that." And he goes, "I've been to that coffee shop before," and he said he lived about 30 to 40 minutes away from the funeral home. And I'm like, "Well, that's pretty believable because I said O'Fallon, Wentzville, they're pretty small towns." And they've only got a couple of businesses in the town. So I was like, that's very believable. Richie says, hey, Fears, yo. Joe says, it sounds like he was a good dad. Oh, yeah, he was the best. He definitely was the best. Tyler says, no, I mean, no one here knows what you're going on about. You said he posts in the chat. If he did, Exhumes would remember. Well, like I said, he said he doesn't always post in the chat, because not everybody posts in the chat every single stream. That's what I'm trying to say. Exhume Visions and Mercenary Man and Tyler. He said every once in a while I post, and I've seen his name. I've seen his name, and he said my favorites are the video game stream. And so I'm gonna ask Sam, maybe not tomorrow because tomorrow's the funeral, but probably in a day or two. Like, Sam, do you remember seeing a guy named PTP? Because I've seen him post um, comments like in a normal stream like this, and then I've seen him post stuff in uh, a video game stream. So hopefully on the next video game stream he'll pop up. But so that's why I knew he was real, because I'm like, I've seen PTP before. I've seen him comment. So yeah, just keep an eye out if he shows up at the funeral, especially if he has a camera. Oh, I definitely will. I don't think it would come to that, Tyler, but well, I hope not. I don't think it will, though. Anyway, what'd you guys think of my speech? Honest opinions. I always appreciate criticism. I think everyone will like that. I mean, I kept the speech very short, sweet, to the point. So, cheers. But I said some good things. I'll read it to you guys one more time. So here we go. So, My Dad by John Fears. My dad was many things. He was my dad, my friend, my mentor, and my hero. My dad taught me many things: how to play baseball, things about life, how to be a man, and how to treat people. But most of all, he treated me how to be a good, decent human being. I will miss the little things like taking vacations, opening presents together on Christmas. I meant to say Christmas. Sorry about that. Opening presents together on Christmas, eating dinner, and just having a long talk. My dad always believed in me, encouraged me, and helped me. He told me to always do your best and follow my dreams. I will miss everything about him because everything about him was so good. I will always lead by his example. We've lost someone we love and it hurts. Even though my dad is gone, he will remain in our lives forever, comforting us, making us laugh, and watching over us. I love you, Dad. John. So there we are. There it is. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So yeah. So I will be I'm saying something, my brother's saying something. I know my British uncle that traveled into my British uncle traveled all the way from England. He's gonna say something, and then I think my grandma's gonna say something. My mom didn't feel up to saying something, so which is all right, which is all right. So yeah, but Tyler, I will definitely keep an eye out. J Man says very well written. You spoke from the heart. Oh yeah, all that was from the heart for sure, for sure. Everything, every single word. And it took me like an hour and a half, so it was well thought out. Tyler said bittersweet. Well, I appreciate that. All right, now to the matter at hand. Some chopping mall. Okay, Visions, are you ready for this? Oh my god. So right off the bat, the movie starts this like burglar and there's no credits. There's no opening credits. It just starts. And I'm like, "Oh, that's kinda weird." It just starts. There's no opening credits. There's credits at the end, but there's no opening credits. It just starts. And you think it's like a real scene, but in actuality, it's a video on a monitor that they're watching. So it starts off with this burglar like smashing a store window and he takes all the jewels and then he's running for the front door of the mall and then this robot comes out of nowhere and just like kills him and then it pans out and it's on the television screen and then you see everybody like watching it and then there's this guy like, "Oh yeah, I'm with this security company." He goes, "We're by the end of this week, your mall is going to be the safest mall in America with these they're called like protector bots." And I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, if they're protecting people, then why in the hell are they killing people? I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So anyway, so anyway, so um, you get past that, and they're like, by the end of the week, they're gonna self activate themselves, and they're gonna turn on, and we're gonna bring crime down in this mall. And I'm just like, oh, this is fucking great. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. So it gets more into it, and it gets more into it. All of a sudden, like this guy comes in for his security shift, and it's this guy in a fucking lab coat, and he's got the glasses, and it's that fucking guy out of Child's Play 2 that gets killed, where Chucky like throws him down the stairs. It's that fucking guy, and that guy. He's been in a few Star Trek episodes. I don't remember his name, but I saw him and I was like, oh my god! I'm like, it's that fucking guy. I was like, oh, he's been in a couple horror movies. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay. So he comes in for his like shift, and like I guess his partner like leaves this donut, and he's like, why the hell? He goes, Jesus. He goes, my partner left this place like a shithole, and so he cleans up, and he's like, all right, he's not looking. So the guy fucking steals his fucking donut, and like just demolishes the fucking donut. I'm like, you do know that he ate the other half of that donut. That's pretty disgusting. Like, get your own fucking donut. So he just devours the fucking donut. He sits down, he's reading this book, and all of a sudden, The robots behind him just zap him in the back of the fucking neck. So he's dead. He's out of there, right? So then, and the reason why they got zapped is because the whole mall got struck by lightning and they like short circuit all the robots. So they went from normal robots to these like fucking like kill bots. And they're out of their fucking mind, right? They're out of their mind. They're out of their mind. And it just gets worse and worse. Like the death scenes are insane. Insane. So um probably one of the best deaths. There's this like this jock guy and he's got this like sexy like girl and she's all like, "Hey, get me a pack of smokes." And I'm just like, "Oh my fucking god." I'm like, "This is total 80s." And he's like, "Right now?" And she's like, "Yeah, right now." And he's like, babe," he's like, "I'm comfy in bed." And they're having sex in the department store. And I'm just like, "It's fucking over with." I'm like, "Oh my god." Right? So they're making out, and then they're making out, and then she's like, "Well, if you don't get me any smokes, I won't be happy. And you know what happens when I'm not happy." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I fucking know." He goes, "I won't get anything." And she goes, "That's right." And then she's like, "When I'm happy, everybody's happy." And he's like, "Well, why don't I just," he goes, "I got a pack of smokes like behind the register." And she goes, "No." She goes, "I don't smoke Camels." She's like, "You know I only smoke," and it was some weird name like Virgin Angels cigarettes or some bullshit. And he goes, "Really? Because you're gonna be that picky?" And she goes, "Well, there's a cigarette machine like down the hallway. Just go get me some smokes." And they hardly ever sell. I don't know. Do they still sell cigarettes in malls? They did in the 80s and 90s, but I doubt they sell cigarettes in those vending machines in malls today. I don't know, Tyler. I could be wrong. Let me know. Visions, do they still? Anybody in the chat? Do they still sell cigarettes in malls? Anyway, so this guy, he's like, "You're a pain in the ass. You know that? A real pain in the ass." So he's like, "Fine, whatever. I will get you some fucking smokes." So he puts on his pants and he like, I guess he throws on a t-shirt or some shit. And she's like, I think his name's like Brad or something. I can't remember. I think I think his name is Brad. And she goes, "Oh, Brad, hurry back." And she pulls down the sheet and visions. She's got this great set of tits. Well, you've seen it. You've seen the movie. Ex- Everybody has seen this movie but me. Thank God I watched it. So she's like, "Hurry back, Brad," and like shows her tits off. And I'll admit, for an old ass 80s film, she had a very nice set of tits. Nice, round, not too big, not too little, decent sized tits. And I was like, "Ooh, ooh, those were pretty nice." So he's like, "Oh, you can count on it, babe. I'll be back." And this guy's got the flowing 80s hair and shit. I am on the floor. I'm on the floor fucking dying. I'm literally sitting here. I got fucking tears gushing out of my eyes because the dialogue sucks. The filming sucks, but Fears is in his element because you guys know I love that shit quality. I'm laughing so hard there's like spit coming through my teeth. I swear to God. I am fucking losing my mind. So the guy goes down, he gets the fucking cigarettes, all of a sudden he turns around, and then the fucking robot kills him. And one by one, the robot starts picking off all the kids, and then but the coolest death was this smart ass janitor guy. And I recognized him, Visions. That guy has been in tons of films. He had a cameo in Explorers, that 80s film where those kids make a spaceship and like become friends with like Martians or some shit. And I'm like, "Oh, it's that guy." And then he was in the first Terminator. He's the gun selling guy that he tries to sell the Terminator some guns, and then the Terminator like blows his fucking head off and like takes all the guns from him. And then he was in that Tom Hanks comedy, The Burbs, and I'm like, it's that fucking guy. And so then all of a sudden he's like trying to clean up. Somebody puked on the floor and he's trying to mop it up. And he's just like, "Oh, these goddamn kids." He goes, "If I ever find out who these fucking kids were that puked over my floor," he goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill them." And he's like bitching and moaning and complaining, and I'm just like, "Oh, this is fucking." I'm like, "He's gonna be dead in about 8 seconds." All of a sudden, he turns around. He's like, "Who the fuck?" He goes, "What the fuck is this?" And then all of a sudden, the robot's all like, "Can I please see your identification badge, sir?" And he's like, "You want to see my identification?" He goes, "Fine." He goes, "I got work to do." He goes, "Like you, I work here." So he's like, "Check out my fucking badge." That doesn't matter because the robot, he's already short circuiting, so he just fucking kills the guy. He lasers the hell out of him. Oh no, I'm sorry. He electrocutes him because these little wires shoot out of it, and it goes into the mop water, and then he just fucking electrocutes the guy. And I'm just fucking puking my brains out. I am fucking laughing hysterically. Oh my god. Vision says, "I haven't seen a cigarette vending machine since I was a kid." Exactly. So I don't think they sell them anymore. That was another reason why I was laughing. I was like, "Oh, this is classic 80s." And what's funny is, Visions, I did a little research. The same mall that they filmed in for Chopping Mall is the same mall they used in that big action film. Um, oh, what is it called? It's with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Suburban Commando. It's the same fucking mall. And I was like, "Oh, no shit." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, that's kinda cool." I'm like, "They shot 2 movies in there." They probably shot more movies 'cause it's some mall in, like, Los Angeles that they used. I looked online, it only took them, like, 40 to 50 days to shoot that film, and that's pretty quick for any film. And it's not so much a horror film. It's got horror aspects to it, but it's kind of like an action adventure horror movie. That's the best way to describe it. Action adventure horror film because the robots actually do look kind of menacing. They got this red beam going across, and I was like, "This is pretty good. This is pretty good." Tyler says, "Not in vending machines, but I'm sure some stores." Yeah, I don't think they have them in vending machines anymore, but I'm sure in stores they still sell them. But yeah. Pixel says, "Bung." And then Tyler says, "Hey, Pixel, does a username PTP ring a bell?" Yeah, Pixel, we're trying to get to the bottom of this. So my dad's funeral viewing was today, and it went great. But Pixel, I'm gonna give you the 10-second version. There was this guy in like a blue buttoned-up shirt, and he was dressed nice, and he was the nicest guy ever. I don't think he was a troll. And he had long flowing hippie hair. No one knew who he was. I went up to my mom and I said, "Do you know who that guy is?" My mom's like, "No, when he came through the line, John, he said he was an acquaintance of yours." And I'm like, "I don't know that guy." I went up to my brother and I was like, "Hey," I said, "Do you know that guy over there?" And he's like, "No, I thought you knew him." And I was like, "I don't know him." And I said, "Well, here, let me go talk to him." And I said, "Hey," and he goes, "Hey, man," he goes, "I know you don't know me, Fears." He goes, "But," he goes, "Hey, um, I know you don't know me, but like, I'm a really big like fan of yours." He goes, "I've been a YouTube fan of yours for like 6 to 7 years." And that seemed about right because that's when I met the whole community was like 6 or 7 years ago. So me and Pixel have been friends for almost 6 years because count back, I met Pixel 2015, 2016 ish. So he said, "I just wanted to show my support, man. I live like 30 minutes away and I can't stay for long." He stayed for about 20, 30 minutes. Somewhat like when I said 15, I was wrong. It wasn't 15, it was around 20, 30 minutes because we chatted for a while. And he goes, "I love your content. I love your passion. I love your drive." And, and he goes, "I just wanted to show my support, man." He goes, "I have to go to work later." And I said, "Oh, now?" He goes, "No, no, no, no." He goes, "I wanted to come, in the morning and then later on in the afternoon." Because my dad's viewing went for hours, hours. So people could come in throughout the day. So a bunch of my church camp friends showed up to show their support. My best friend Eric showed up with his wife, which was really cool. Because Eric's my best friend. I knew he was going to show up. And then a bunch of aunts, uncles, and uh, my my British uncle, which is one of my mom's brothers, because my other uncles, my mom's brothers couldn't come, but one of my British uncles came. So yeah, and he said his name was PTP. He didn't seem at all Tyler's like, "Well, fears it could have been a troll." I don't think it was a troll because Pixel, he was the nicest dude ever. He didn't say anything trolly, didn't do anything weird. He seemed pretty normal to me. He shook my hand, and I said, "Hey, let me get a photo with you." And I said, "I'll put it on my Instagram, and I'll just say, hey, thanks for one of my YouTube fans coming and supporting me in my time of need." He goes, "Oh, that'd be great, Fears." So he seemed pretty normal to me, but and he said, "I don't always comment." He said, "I comment." He said, "I comment sometimes." He goes, "But sometimes I just like to watch, from the shadows." But he said, "I've commented a lot when you and Sam do your video game streams." And I said, "Have you ever commented in like a normal stream like this? Like this one that I'm doing?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, I've commented." He goes, "But I really love your video game streams." He goes, "I think those are like hella cool." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And I said, "What do you watch more of, Fears Man or Fears Vlog?" He goes, "Oh," he goes, "I love." He goes, "Nothing against Fears Man 26." He goes, "If I like the Fears Man 26 content," he goes, "but I definitely." He goes, "I definitely love Fears vlogs more." He goes, "I love the streams, I love the vlogs." And I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "That's cool." Um, let's see. Tyler says it's an algorithm, but it's his whole name. It is his whole name. He says. I said, "What does PTP stand for?" And he said, "It's the first letters of my first, middle, and last name." I said, "Okay." Um, so he says, "What is the rest of the name?" Or do we know? We don't know the rest of the name. It's just he said it's just his YouTube channel is just PTP. So yeah, it's not ringing a bell. Maybe they'll come forward one day. Well, he told me his real name, so he did show up. So I know his real name, but I don't think he wants me to out his real name. I forgot his last name, but I know his first name. But yeah, uh, let's see. Tyler says fears must think that trolls are mustache twirling villains. Oh, no, I don't think that. Come on, Tyler, you know me better than that. But again, I knew it wasn't. I know what my trolls look like. I've only got like 8 or 9 of them. Like I was like, I know what Moody looks like, and it wasn't him. I know what Quentin looks like, and Adam Bachidi, and Carl the Fan, and Yakov. So I'm like, it's none of those guys because I've seen all their faces. This guy didn't ring a bell. But he, like I said, Pixel, he was the nicest guy ever. Didn't say anything bad. He shook my hand, and I tried to quiz him too. I said, "Well, what'd you think of that Knight Rider short film I made with my buddy?" I said, "Do you remember how much he put into that car?" He knew. He was like, "Oh yeah, Fears. I remember watching that video. You said your friend dumped like $25,000 into it." And I was like, "Yep." And then he said, "Oh yeah, I love the." He goes, "I've watched all the Disney vlogs." And I was like, I said, "Well, where did I go in the very first Disney vlog?" He said, "Oh, you went to the Magic Kingdom." And I was like, "That's right." So I quizzed him. So he is a fan. So, but I don't think he's a troll. But if he was a troll, he was the perfect gentleman and didn't say anything trolly, didn't do anything. So Uh, I thought it was nice that he showed up and showed support. I don't think he's a troll though. So PTP, I salute you. Thank you for doing that. So yeah, um, they are normal people. They aren't going to your dad's funeral to make a massive scene. That's true. That's true. That's true. Again, I don't think they would make a massive scene, but I was just on my toes, because Tyler brings up a lot of good points. But again, there's a lot of good people in this world because you guys are all nice people and you guys are all my loving and loyal fans, and I appreciate it and I love you guys. And but not everyone is kind and loyal in this world. Sadly, I wish. And Tyler made a good point. He said, "Fears, I know you like to look for the good in everybody, but Tyler's right. There's some people that they don't have any good in them. Sadly, but yeah." That's true, Tyler. That's true. They actually watch more. So, um, well, Tyler, I asked some pretty normal questions that everybody know. I mean, I picked out some legendary vlogs. I picked out some. legendary vlogs. So yeah, and some he did get stumped on because he said, "Well, I haven't watched every single video." He goes, "But I've watched a lot of your videos." So yeah. Chicken Wizard's in the house, and he says, "Sending much love to you and your family, Fears." I appreciate that, Chicken Wizard. Chicken Wizard, unfortunately, you missed me giving my speech to my dad. I mean, I remember, well, to you guys, but I finally wrote my speech. It's right here. I it's not too big. It's right here. Pixel says PTP. If you ever see this, feel free to comment. But see, that's the thing, Pixel. He has commented before. I've seen him in the chat. But when he was talking to me today, he said, "I don't always comment." He said, "Sometimes I just like to watch." But he said, "I have commented in the game streams," and I know he wasn't lying about that because I've seen him comment. He said, "I'm just not an active commenter." He goes, "I comment on a few streams here and there," but he goes, "I don't comment every single stream." And I said, "No." I said, "No, I get you." So yeah. So so he seemed normal to me, but you never know. But I appreciate PTP giving support. So yeah. So anyway, but Pixel went really well. The viewing went really well. I'll be honest, I did have to. Um, I took about 15, 20 minutes. I had to walk away because I kind of burst into tears. Like I didn't. I wanted to be strong for my mom, but uh, I did lose it for like about 15 minutes. I had to go into the bathroom and I cried for a good 10 minutes. So, guys, it has been an emotional 2 weeks. But I told Pixel this before. At least my dad isn't in any more pain because I'm telling you, my dad is a tough, tough guy. He went through hell and back, man. So, yeah, like, I just feel bad. Like, I've lost my dad. Visions has lost his dad. And then my best buddy, Eric, he lost his dad. And my best buddy Eric came up to me and said, "Hey, Fears," he goes, "It's kind of ironic." He goes, "The same room that you and your parents are, I mean, you and your mom and your brother are doing your dad's viewing in." He goes, "Well, 2 or 3 years ago," he goes, I'm sorry, not 2 or 3 years ago. He said about 5 or 6 years ago, they had Eric's dad in that same room." And I said, "Oh, really?" So yeah, so I was like, "Oh man, dude." He's like, "Yeah." So I've been in this room before of yours." And I was like, "Wow." So yeah. Hey bro, do you read chat? I do read the chat first last. Sometimes I get behind, but I try to stay up. I try to stay up to date on the chat as much as possible. Vision says, as Norm Macdonald would say, he didn't lose his fight with cancer. It was a draw. I guess, but I wish he would have overcame it because I miss my dad so much. But just to show you how unselfish my dad was, one day before it got really bad, Visions, we were in the hospice, and my dad was like, "Well," he goes, "John," he goes, "I don't know if they'll find a cure in time for me." But he goes, "Let's say you're like 80 or 90, John, and you get it or somebody you know gets prostate cancer." He goes, "I hope one day they find a cure so you guys can like die of natural causes and you don't have to go through any of the pain and suffering that I went through." And what I really said was, I said, "Let's hope so, Dad." But in my mind, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna find a cure for prostate cancer anytime soon, because it's such a horrible disease that like eats away at you at a piece at a time. But in my mind, I said, hopefully, like my dad said, hopefully, like in 60, 70 years, like when I'm old, hopefully they find a cure by then. Because But that just shows you how unselfish my dad was. Like he cared about everybody. He was like, "Well," he goes, "if I'm gonna go at least one day they'll find a cure so then other people don't have to go through the crap that I went through. So I was like, that's pretty cool, Dad. And I thought that was pretty cool that my dad said that. So anyway, Pixel says, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I believe they already could cure cancer, but they make so much money off of medicine and treatments. Well, let's hope you're wrong, Pixel, because if I'm telling you, if I ever found out that that was true, I'd be like, oh, well, you bastards are murderers. Then, like, my dad could have been cured, and you didn't give him the cure, and so you guys basically killed him. So I hope that you're wrong, Pixel, because I'll be honest, they do make a lot of money on treatments and stuff. Because my dad's treatments and stuff were not cheap. So I hope that's wrong. No offense, Pixel. No offense. But anyway, I'm gonna skedaddle. But that was my comprehensive review. I wanted to save the um um I'm getting tired. I wanted to save the um the shopping mall for the end. Visions, it was a fucking hilarious movie. For the people that have not watched Chopping Mall, I will not tell you the ending, but the ending is absolutely. I was fucking in goddamn massive, hilarious chaos by the end of the movie. Oh my god. So yeah. So yeah. Starbucks one time, I think, right? The one people kept calling. What? No, I haven't went to Starbucks yet, Pixel. No. They make billions upon billions just off of cancer stuff. Oh, I'm sure they do, Pixel. Ugh, it's just crazy. Tyler says, "Hey, Fears, I'm not sure if you saw, but I think I remember a PTP now." Oh, there you go, Tyler. But there's a lot of YouTube fans out there. You know, I mean, Casey Neistat's got more fans than me, so um, hopefully it's the right PTP you're thinking of. Like I'm telling you, this guy seemed pretty normal to me. Like he shook my hand and said, "Fears, I'm just so sorry for your loss." So I took his word for it, and like I said, he stayed for about 20 or 30 minutes, and and uh, well, the thing is, Tyler, the thing is he didn't bring up Matman whatsoever. But yeah, I'm not even gonna go to that subject because you guys know how I feel about Matman. But the guy that showed up and said that he was a fan seemed like a pretty nice guy. Seemed like a pretty normal guy, but you never know. You never know. But I will take your advice, Tyler, and I will be careful. But as far as I know, until I find out otherwise, this PTP guy was very nice to me and my family. So I just want to show my appreciation to PTP. Thank you so much for attending my dad's viewing. So yeah. So yep. So yeah. Um. Oh wait. Pixel said. Hang on. Pixel said. Let me scroll. Oh, I'm sorry. First, last says, have you ever been banned from any place? No. No. First, last. Oh, now I know what you're talking about, Pixel. First, last. I've never been banned. I was at a coffee shop a bunch of times back in the day, and they found out where I was, and they just kept calling and calling and calling. And finally, I said, "You're not gonna get me mad." And then I hung up the phone. And then I went up to the manager and said, "Hey, if these idiots keep calling, I'm doing a live stream, so just if they ask for me, just hang up the phone." And so they got a couple of calls out, and normally if you ignore them, so the lady's like, "Oh, okay, so it's not your brother." They kept calling and saying, "Hey, it's my brother, John. John's there. Can I talk to my brother?" and it wasn't my brother because I know what my brother sounds like. And I picked up the phone. They're like, "Hey, Fears, we're trolls. We know exactly where you are." I'm like, "You're fucking idiots. I'm not afraid of you. Eat shit. Bye. Click." And so I went up to the manager. I said, "I'm really sorry that they're calling your business." I was like, "That's just stupid." And she goes, "Yeah, that's pretty stupid." And I was like, "It is stupid." And then I said, "If they call back," I said, "just don't pick up the phone." And she's like, "Oh, I won't." She goes, "Don't worry, we get prank phone calls all the time." So she goes, "It's not just your fans." And I was like, "Well, they're not even my fans. They're stupid idiots." And she goes, "Well, I'm just giving you an example." She goes, "We have tons of people prank phone calls every day." And she goes, "We just like we give them one chance and we pick it up, and then if they keep calling, we just don't pick up." And I said, "Oh," I said, "Well, that's good." I said, "Okay." So I've had that happen first last, but I've never gotten banned or kicked out of anywhere. So that's good. That's good. So yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna hit the sack, guys, but I just wanted to um I just wanted to tell you guys that my dad's viewing went very well. Um I appreciate the YouTube fan that came and showed support. Um my dad's funeral is this weekend, so wish me luck on that. And Um, I didn't do the speech today, Pixel, but I finished the speech. The speech is in here, so I'm not gonna read it again. I read it twice on camera, so if you want to go back and watch the speech, you're more than welcome to, buddy. So yeah, so yeah, so um, yeah. First, last, you don't want to know who Matt Man is. Pixel hit it right on the nail. Pixel said he's a very creepy bad man. That's an understatement. That man is out of his fucking mind. Um, so yeah, he exactly. So because first last says no offense, but I'm not gonna take your word. What makes him so bad? He, I'll spell it out. First last, Pixel's right. Pixel says he's like children a few times. That's an understatement. That man's a pedophile. So that makes him bad in my eyes. That's pretty sick. So that's pretty sick. So yeah. So my community and me, we stay away from him because I want nothing to do with him. So yeah, let's see. Pixel says I will watch it back. Yeah, well Pixel. Tyler said it was bittersweet, and then J Man said that the speech was good because I spoke from the heart. I said, oh, absolutely. So, and it's not that long. It's not that long. Here, I'll show you. It's not long at all. So, it's only one page. One page. So only one page. Not too bad. Anyway, I'm gonna take off, guys, because I have to get up early in the morning because it's gonna be an all day. It's gonna be an all day thing. This all day tomorrow we're doing stuff, and then the funeral is this weekend, so it's gonna be an all day thing. But I should be back. I should be back in Florida next week sometime. I haven't bought my plane ticket yet. We'll see if Casey's gonna pick me up from the airport. She said she may, so we'll see. We'll see. But I'll be honest, Pixel, I called Sam and said, uh, Sam, not that I'm saying she won't do it, but we've seen her procrastinate tons of times. So Sam's like, oh yeah, just let me know, Fears. If she doesn't end up picking you up, I'll pick you up. And I said, I appreciate that, Sam. And first and last, Sam is my good buddy. I used to work with him. Now we're just buddies. So we started off as colleagues and employee buddies, and now we're just friends. So yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna take off. So anyway, Tyler, Pixel, uh, First Last, and who else was in here? Visions, and who else? Let's see. Uh, Mercenary Man. You guys all have a wonderful night. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to FearsMan26 and Fears Vlogs. And if you have not checked out my TikTok channel, check me out on the old TikTok at FearsMan26. Anyway, Fears loves you. Fears cares about you. And I'm out. Peace.